Welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Monica and today I have in my hot little hands the 4th edition of the Victorian Romantic Tarot. This only arrived a few days ago. It is absolutely stunning and I thought I'd do a flip through of it. But I also wanted to do a comparison with the 2012 edition, which is their 2nd edition. Okay, let me move my cup of tea out of the way and bring the box for the 2nd edition. Okay, so here we have 2nd edition and 4th edition. Okay, now straight away you can see that with the 2nd edition the box is made out of cardboard. It's sturdy, it's fantastic. I don't have any issues with this style of packaging personally, but there's no doubt about it that with this last edition, the 4th edition, the box that comes with this edition is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. It's really well made, very sturdy. It's made out of wood, exceptionally well made. I think it's a treasure. Okay, it opens and closes really nicely, it locks really well, and yeah, personally it's definitely a favorite of mine. And now, before I get on to doing the flip through, I just want to do some comparisons of the cards themselves. Okay, now one thing I need to mention before we even start looking at specific cards is the deck texture and the card stock. So these are the backs, 2nd edition, 4th edition. Okay, the card size is exactly the same. Okay, if I put them one over the other, there's no overlap at all. They are exactly the same size. How they are different in texture is that the 2nd edition has this edging, the golden edging on the cards, which gives them a different feel, like a different texture. I think the cardstock is obviously a little bit different, and I feel perhaps a bit thicker with the 2nd edition, and the 4th edition does not have that edging. But what it does have is the gold leaf on the actual cards themselves in the images. Okay, so if I turn these over and I look at the full, what you will see is that for most of the deck the cards are exactly the same with a different shade of colors. Okay, so same image. I feel like with the 4th edition, the facial features have been sharpened quite a bit more in the characters. But you also have, and I'm really not sure if the lighting captures the gold, the gold leaf on the card. And I'm really sorry if it doesn't do that. It is absolutely stunning. I think they do an astounding job with their tarot decks, which is why I decided to get the 4th edition again. And to me, the card stock and the card texture is second to none with Baba Studio. I am a fan more of the 4th edition cardstock, even though it is thinner, I feel a little bit than the 2nd edition. Okay, but it's a sexy cardstock. That's the only way I can describe it. Okay, it's a pleasure to shuffle. It feels wonderful. It's not plasticky, but it's not too cardboardy, so the cards don't stick together when you shuffle them. They're a delight to work with. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to do a comparison of some of the cards to give you an idea between these two editions. All right, now the card changes can be categorized in about 3 different ways. The first one is cards where the image is essentially the same, but the coloring is noticeably different. So here we have the 8 of Swords, and we can see the hair color is different, and we can also see that the skin tone has been altered a bit. Also, the shading of her dress is different. All right, they look like a bit different colors. Okay, and I think this is due in part because of this effect of the gold leaf in the card. Okay, so that's the Eight of Swords. Another one would be the Queen of Swords. Okay, once again, the skin tone, you can see it's quite different in between the two cards. And the color of the dress, it's essentially the same, but I feel like it's a different shade. You know. Next would be the Three of Pentacles. Now, this is one card where there is a change, a significant change in the card. Like, although it is the same image, but as you can tell, the older gentleman has been changed. And, you know, I think that this is a credit to this tarot deck, that they did try to make it a bit more diverse in the cards. So, but you know, it's still really the same card. Like it depicts the same action taking place. Okay. Here we have the Five of Pentacles, and what I could see here was the boy's hair. It's quite red here. Same for his what you can presume to be his mother. The flowers are more a brighter yellow. And in general, the coloring is a bit sharper. And again, I feel like the facial features have been sharpened. Same in the Ten of Wands. Far more sharper features for the baby in the basket and with the woman as well in her face. Here is the Star. Gorgeous and stunning. Yeah, one of my favorite versions of the Star card. The Seven of Pentacles, again illustrating the slight change in the color. I feel like with the newer edition, the 4th edition, you know, the flowers are a brighter yellow and her dress is more orange, like, or a deeper shade of orange or gold. And here's the Page of Pentacles. Now here, I didn't see this initially, but there's a change in the scenery. Okay, so the background, here we have a clock, and here we have doors, and it's like a completely different background. Okay, and again, the young gentleman has also been changed a little bit. Okay, he's sitting further in, whereas here he's a bit more closer up. And also the skin tone is changed. And here is the Knight of Pentacles, showing you, you know, her dress is now a distinct blue, and we've got the gold of the dress really standing out a lot more in this card, you know, and also the colors of the forest and the dragon, they're just more accentuated and they're a bit darker, so there's a lot more contrast, I feel, with this card. So the second type of change that I noticed is the extra cards. Okay, so on the left here, I've got, this is the 2nd edition. Okay, and in the 2nd edition, we had 2 Lovers cards, and here they are. Now, in the 4th edition, we also have the Lovers, just as in the 2nd edition. But we also have an additional and new Lovers card. Okay, I'm not sure I can capture all of these here. I'll put that like that. And here we have the 4th edition, right? So we've got this new Lovers card, which I really appreciate, having extra Lovers cards. Number 6 is my life path number, so I always look to the Lovers card to see how it's shown in a tarot deck, and to me it's always really nice to have different options for the Lovers. Okay, so that's the Lovers. Next we have the Emperor. So in the second edition, this is the Emperor card on the left, and with the fourth edition we have an extra Emperor, okay, which is an Egyptian pharaoh. Okay, personally, you know, obviously this will be a personal preference for people as to what they go with. I really prefer the original one, or because it shows the Emperor, you know, having, to me it looks like he's being advised, and he's got to make a decision, and someone's weighing something, so it adds that element of balance, and you know, you have to weigh things up, or you know, it's what people in charge have to do. They've got to make decisions, and those decisions, they don't just dream them up in the middle of the night. They're often made after discussing with other people and receiving guidance from people in specialist fields. Okay, so I still prefer the original, but some of you might really like the new alternative, which is still gorgeous. Like it's a tough choice, really. So that's the Emperor, and then the final extra card is with the Devil. So the second edition Devil is on the left again, and here we have the fourth edition, where we now have a scene from the garden with this winged devil swooping in. Okay, so it's a really tough one, choosing which one to use. For me personally, I mean, I think that the Victorian Romantic Tarot, regardless of which version you use, their devil is simply the best. She is just the ultimate, the ultimate devil card in terms of you know, the temptation depicted in the card. It's beautiful. So those are the cards that have an extra card, and finally we have the cards that have been changed completely. Okay, starting with the Queen of Pentacles, the second edition on the left, Queen of Pentacles, and the fourth edition Queen of Pentacles on the right. Completely different card, completely different scene. I love both of them equally. I think, yeah, Baba Studio just do absolutely impeccable work. I cannot fault it at all. It's far superior to many other decks out there. The next one is the Page of Swords. So second edition on the left and the fourth edition on the right. And I love the fourth edition. I really love this this page with the sword and the flaming red hair, and it's absolutely beautiful. So and finally, not finally, next one is the Queen of Wands. Now I identify with the Queen of Wands quite a lot, being a fire sign and a woman. So for me, Queen of Wands is really one of those go-to cards, a bit like the Lovers, that I go to see how they are depicted. And if I don't like the Queen of Wands, then usually you know, puts me off working with a tarot deck. So here she has been changed to a bit more of a flamboyant character, although they're both you know, they look pretty sexy and fashionable and rich and confident. Confidence is certainly a key attribute here in both of these cards. So yeah, very beautiful. And finally the Nine of Wands. So completely different Nine of Wands. I think personally this dude here embodies that Nine of Wands energy really well, because of all the bodies behind him. And I've done readings, you know, where this card has come up and people have described, you know, what they've gone through, very much like what the scene is. You know, they've looked at this and they've gone, yep, that's how I feel like. I feel like there's all these bodies behind me and I'm still standing here, but only barely just. So, you know, but once again, both editions are absolutely stunning and gorgeous. Yeah. So I'll conclude my comparison here. I don't really have much to say in terms of my personal opinion because I love them both so much. I think they've done a sterling job with the fourth edition. I love the box. I love the cardstock. It feels, it's a pleasure to shuffle and works beautifully. The cards are stunning. I really cannot fault Baba Studio at all. I mean, I've been a fan of theirs for a long time now, so they do amazing work and they're impeccable in their integrity towards their work. I think that these decks are worth every single dollar, and yes, they're more expensive than many other tarot decks, many other individually published tarot decks, but they're certainly worth the investment. I've bought this, like I said, around 2012, and it's one of my regular decks. It'll be in my top 10 without a doubt. For relationship readings, it's absolutely brilliant, and I really look forward to working with the fourth edition. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a flip through of the fourth edition one by one.